The Arabian Peninsula in the 7th century CE was a land of diverse cultures and beliefs. Nomadic Bedouin tribes traversed the vast deserts, their lives governed by ancient traditions and the harsh realities of their environment. In the scattered oases and bustling trading centres, urban communities thrived, connected by complex networks of commerce and diplomacy. Mecca, home to the sacred Kaaba, stood as a prominent centre of pilgrimage and trade, attracting people from across the peninsula and beyond. However, beneath the veneer of prosperity and cultural exchange, the Arabian Peninsula was also marked by tribal rivalries, religious syncretism, and social inequalities. The dominant faith among the Arabs was polytheism, with various deities worshipped in different regions and tribes. The Kaaba, a cube-shaped structure in Mecca, housed hundreds of idols representing these diverse deities, making it a focal point of religious devotion and pilgrimage. Alongside polytheism, other faiths such as Christianity, Judaism and Zoroastrianism existed in smaller pockets, primarily among settled communities involved in trade and commerce. The Arabian society was rigidly hierarchical, with tribal kinship and social status playing a significant role in determining an individual's standing. Slavery was an accepted practice, and women possessed limited rights and freedoms. Into this complex and dynamic world, a new religious movement was about to emerge, forever altering the course of history. Born in Mecca around 570 CE, Muhammad was a member of the Quraysh tribe, one of the most prominent and influential in the region. The Quraysh were known for their control over the Kaaba, a sacred sanctuary that attracted pilgrims from all over Arabia. Orphaned at a young age, he was raised by his uncle and worked as a trader, gaining a reputation for honesty, trustworthiness and piety. His integrity earned him the nickname Al-Amin, meaning the trustworthy. Despite his privileged lineage and successful career, Muhammad was troubled by the social injustices and spiritual bankruptcy he observed in Meccan society. The rampant idolatry, moral decay and exploitation of the poor deeply disturbed him. He often retreated to the solitude of Mount Hira, a cave near Mecca, to meditate and seek solace. These retreats provided him with the peace and quiet he needed to reflect on the deeper questions of life and existence. In 610 CE, during one such retreat to Mount Hira, Muhammad received his first revelation from God through the angel Gabriel. This profound experience left him shaken and awestruck. This event, known as the Night of Power and Destiny, Laylat al-Qadr, marked the beginning of his prophetic mission and the birth of Islam. It is commemorated annually during the last 10 days of Ramadan. Over the next 2 decades, Muhammad continued to receive revelations from God, which were later compiled to form the Quran, the holy book of Islam. These revelations provided guidance on all aspects of life. The Quranic verses revealed to Muhammad addressed a wide range of subjects, including the nature of God, the purpose of life, the importance of social justice, and the Day of Judgment. They also offered moral and ethical guidelines for personal conduct. Muhammad's message of monotheism, ethical conduct and social responsibility resonated with many in Mecca, particularly among the downtrodden and those seeking spiritual guidance. His teachings offered hope and a sense of purpose to those marginalized by society. He preached against idolatry, emphasizing the oneness of God and the equality of all human beings in the eyes of their Creator. This was a radical departure from the polytheistic beliefs that dominated Meccan society. His teachings challenged the established social order and the power dynamics of Meccan society, leading to both admiration and opposition. Many saw his message as a threat to their traditional way of life. As Muhammad's following grew, so did the resistance from the Meccan elite. They were determined to maintain their control and influence over the city's religious and economic affairs. The Quraysh, who controlled the Kaaba and profited from the annual pilgrimage, saw Muhammad's monotheistic teachings as a threat to their economic and religious authority. They feared losing their status and wealth. They accused him of being a madman, a sorcerer, and a threat to the social fabric of Mecca. The opposition was fierce, and Muhammad and his followers faced significant persecution. Despite facing ridicule, persecution, and threats, Muhammad remained steadfast in his mission. preaching the message of Islam and calling people to submit to the will of Allah. His unwavering dedication inspired many to join his cause, laying the foundation for the spread of Islam. As the persecution of Muslims in Mecca intensified, their situation became increasingly dire and untenable. Muhammad received an invitation from the people of Yathrib, a city north of Mecca, to mediate a conflict between its warring tribes. This invitation was a beacon of hope for the beleaguered Muslims. Yathrib, later renamed Medina, the city of the Prophet, was home to both Arab and Jewish tribes who had been engaged in a protracted conflict. The city was a melting pot of cultures and traditions. Recognizing this as an opportunity to escape persecution and establish a community founded on Islamic principles, Muhammad advised his followers to migrate to Medina. This migration was not just a physical journey, but a spiritual and communal transformation. This migration, known as the Hijra, marked a turning point in Islamic history. It was a pivotal moment that would shape the future of the Muslim community. In 622 CE, facing imminent danger, Muhammad and his closest companion, Abu Bakr, secretly left Mecca and embarked on a perilous journey to Medina. Their departure was fraught with risks and uncertainties. They were pursued by the Quraysh, who were determined to capture or kill Muhammad and prevent the spread of Islam. The stakes were incredibly high and the tension palpable. After evading their pursuers, Muhammad and Abu Bakr arrived in Medina, where they were greeted with enthusiasm by its inhabitants. The warm welcome signified the beginning of a new chapter. The arrival of Muhammad and the Meccan migrants, known as the Muhajirun, the emigrants, transformed Medina into the first Islamic city-state. This transformation was both social and political. Muhammad established a covenant known as the Constitution of Medina, which outlined the rights and responsibilities of Muslims, Jews, and other communities residing in the city. This document was groundbreaking in its inclusivity. This document, considered one of the earliest written constitutions in history, enshrined the principles of freedom of religion, mutual defense, and social cooperation. It laid the foundation for a harmonious and cooperative society. The Hijra marked the beginning of a new era for the nascent Muslim community. It was a period of growth, consolidation, and newfound strength. In Medina, they were no longer a persecuted minority, but a growing and influential force. Their influence began to extend beyond the city, impacting the broader region. The formation of the Ummah, the Islamic community, transcended tribal affiliations and blood ties, uniting people under the banner of faith and shared values. This unity was unprecedented and powerful. This newfound unity and strength would prove crucial in the years to come as the Muslims faced increasing hostility from Mecca and other hostile forces. Their resilience and solidarity would be tested, but their faith and community spirit would guide them through the challenges ahead. The migration to Medina did not end the conflict between Muhammad and the Quraysh. Instead, it marked the beginning of a new chapter in the struggle for survival and faith. The Meccans, determined to crush the fledgling Muslim community, launched a series of raids and attacks on Medina and its surrounding areas. These assaults were relentless and aimed at destabilizing the Muslim community. These raids, aimed at undermining the economic livelihood of the Muslims and sowing fear among the population, escalated tensions between the two sides. The constant threat of attack kept the community on edge, always preparing for the next onslaught. In 624 CE, the Quraysh assembled a large army consisting of nearly 1,000 men and marched towards Medina with the intention of delivering a decisive blow to the Muslims. This was a significant escalation, signaling their determination to end the Muslim threat once and for all. Upon receiving intelligence of the approaching Meccan army, Muhammad consulted with his companions and decided to confront the enemy. This decision was not taken lightly, as it meant facing a much larger and better equipped force. Despite being significantly outnumbered, with a force of just over 300 men, the Muslims were determined to defend their newfound home and their faith. Their resolve was strengthened by their belief in the righteousness of their cause. The two armies met at Badr, a strategic location on the caravan route between Mecca and Syria. This site was chosen for its tactical advantages, providing the Muslims with a chance to leverage the terrain to their benefit. The Muslims, though outnumbered and outmatched in terms of weaponry and resources, were driven by an unwavering faith in God and a fierce determination to protect their community. Their prayers before the battle reflected their deep spiritual commitment and hope for divine assistance. The Battle of Badr, known as the Day of Distinction, Yawm al-Furqan, in Islamic tradition, was not merely a clash of armies, but a battle for the survival of Islam. It was a pivotal moment that would shape the future of the Muslim community. The Muslims viewed it as a test of their faith and a struggle between right and wrong. This perspective gave them a moral clarity and a sense of purpose that transcended the immediate physical conflict. Muhammad, leading from the front, inspired his followers with his courage, piety, and unwavering trust in God's support. His leadership was a source of strength and motivation for the Muslim warriors. The Muslims fought with valor and discipline, their spirits bolstered by the belief that they were fighting for a just cause. Their unity and determination were key factors in their ability to stand against a larger force. The battle raged for several hours, with both sides fighting fiercely. The intensity of the combat reflected the high stakes involved for both the Muslims and the Quraysh. Despite their numerical inferiority, the Muslims gained the upper hand, thanks in part to a sudden downpour that hampered the Meccan cavalry and a strategic maneuver that allowed them to attack the enemy from multiple sides. This unexpected turn of events played a crucial role in shifting the momentum of the battle. The Meccans, caught off guard by the ferocity of the Muslim attack and demoralized by their losses, began to retreat. Their retreat marked a significant victory for the Muslims, who had defied the odds to protect their community. The Muslim army, energized by their unexpected success, pursued the fleeing Meccans, inflicting heavy casualties and capturing several key leaders. This victory at Badr was a turning point, bolstering the morale of the Muslim community and solidifying their resolve to continue their struggle.